That means I can't jam.
How long is this gonna take?
Yesterday was Quadratics, right? And this is the standard form. Okay, we're still using that today. Come Monday, we're going to use a different form, but that one's the one we're using today. And what's the name of the shape of the graph? Parabola. Very good. All right. So when a is bigger than 0, so that's the a right there in front of x squared. So if a is positive, the parabola opens up, right? All right. So we're going to graph the parent function of quadratics, all right? Most simple equation we can get, y equals x squared. What is a in this?
0.
1. It's a 1. A is 1. All right, so to graph this, we are going to take x, plug it in to the equation, and get some y's. Let's plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. It looks like a lot, but it's not that bad. What is -2 squared?
-4.
It's just 4, because -2 times -2 makes positive 4. All right, -1 squared.
1.
0 squared.
0.
1 squared.
1.
2 squared. 4. All right, plot all of those points. And you can draw your parabola.
It's not going to be wavy.
Huh? What are you talking about?
None.
That is your parent function. What is the origin of the parent function? 0. Not the origin. The vertex. The vertex is still 0, 0. It's the origin. All right, and the parent function is not too wide. It's not too narrow. It's just right.
Yeah.
This chair is super squeaky. All right. It's the weather. It's like old people get creaky when it's cold outside. All right. Now when a is less than 0, so when a is negative, the parabola is going to open down. So we'll do a basic one of this. Y equals -x squared.
Can we just plot the same point? I'm going to do
It's
this.
just going to go down.
It is just going to go down. So let's look at how that looks. So if we plug in -2, it's negative times -2 squared. What is that? -2 times -2 is 4 times -4. All right, so when we plug -1 in, what do we get?
-1.
Plug in 0. Still going to get 0. 1.
-1.
And then when you plug in 2, you get -4. Plot those. I'm having trouble today.
Is all we're doing today is notes?
No, you have a worksheet for homework.
How many?
Problems?
Yeah.
9.
9. That's not bad.
9 whole problems.
9 whole problems.
What?
Now,
How do you make it wavy like this? Why isn't it just like straight?
all right, from our standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, we can use the numbers a, b, and c to help us tell us stuff about the graph. If you plug those in to this formula right here, it gives you the axis of symmetry. We don't even need c for that. Huh? All right, that x that you get, that number, is also the x coordinate of your vertex. But I'm saying if you start with an equation, you don't have the graph, you're trying to get the graph. That's what we're doing today. We have an equation, we're trying to graph it. Now, so we have the axis of symmetry, we have the x-coordinate of the vertex, but to get the y-coordinate of the vertex, we're going to have to sub that x back to the original equation. And I will show you all this on the back when we actually do a problem. So you'll take this x, plug it into that, it'll give you a y back, if you feel like drawing that. Now, there's another thing where it just gives you the y-intercept. That is the c. I can't spell.
Why what?
Intercept. I don't know what I was trying to spell. Alright, so just 0c. Kind of like how in y equals mx plus b, the b that was hanging out the end was the y-intercept. Now it's c that's hanging out the end. I know. I wonder the same thing. But, alright, if a is greater than 0, that means it's positive. It opens which way? Up. It opens up. It's a U. And the vertex is the minimum or maximum? Minimum. It's at the bottom of the graph.
I thought you were talking about the little alligator thing.
Oh, no. If A is negative, the graph opens
Down.
and it's a
Maximum.
maximum.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Any questions? All right. These are the steps to graph. Now we have to get the line of symmetry, axis of symmetry, I don't know why it says line, the vertex and the y-intercept first, and then we'll be able to do these steps. All right, so down here, we're going to do this problem first. What are A, B, and C?
3, 6, 9.
3, 6, and 9. All right, the formula for axis of symmetry was x equals negative b over 2a. So for us, x equals negative what?
Negative 2, 6.
Negative 6 over 2 times 3, which is negative 6 over 6, which is negative 1. So our axis of symmetry is negative 1.
Sweet.
The y-intercept was just 0, c, so it is 0, 9.
Oh, never mind.
All right, we're doing pretty good. Now we just need the vertex. So we can take this negative 1 and put it in the x spot, but we need to figure out the y. So we'll say y equals 3 times negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 plus 9. All I did was take the negative 1 and plug it in for these two x's.
That makes sense.
So what's negative 1 squared?
1.
It's just 1, and 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, plus 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 6 plus 9 is also 3. So what is y? 6. All right. Now you have your axis of symmetry, your y-intercept, and your vertex. We will graph all those things. That's A through C, I think. Yep, A through C. So start with your axis of symmetry at negative 1. And your vertex at negative 1, 6. Your y-intercept at 0, 9, which is a little off the graph, sorry. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of views, or at least more than one view on the Math City video.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I looked last night and there were 3 views.
Ooh.
I don't know. I can't tell who watches it.
Yeah, I had to just go like.
Okay.
and then go
Anyways.
find out.
Now, step D says plot the corresponding point of the y-intercept. So, take the y-intercept,
Have you been promoting it? in class?
count to the axis of symmetry and count over another one. So it's -2, 9.
Will you put it on iTunes?
No. Do you have enough of this parabola to graph it?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. So you can go ahead and do that.
See, it just looks like a straight line to me. It looks like you should just do connect the dots.
They are technically straight lines, because it's just a bunch of points. Like, it's a bunch of little bitty straight lines.
And you are connected on the line.
It's like a circle. Yeah.
All right.
Blow your brain right
Let's
there.
just, since we were able to get that corresponding point, we didn't have to do steps E and F. We went straight to G. Now, does this graph have a minimum or a maximum? Minimum. So you can just circle minimum if you want. And what is that minimum?
-1, -6.
-1, 6. It'll always be the same as your vertex. Don't write vertex, write the point, but it should always be the same. If it's not, we messed up somewhere. Huh?
What if I write vertex?
Then you get some points off. All right. Y'all ready for the next one? All right. What is A? Okay.
So does this mean?
What is B?
2.
0.
1.
Uh-oh. B is attached to the linear term. Is there a linear term?
Yes.
What is it?
It's
0.
It's an imaginary.
There is not,
number.
we cannot see the linear term, so B is 0. It's like there's a plus 0, X, and C is 2. Axis of symmetry, X equals -B over 2A. All right, so X is -0 divided by 2 times a half. Well, what's 0 divided by anything? 0. So the axis of symmetry is 0.
So.
What's your y-intercept?
0, 2.
Yes, it's 0, 2, because C is 2. Now the vertex, we know that the X is 0 from that right there.
Is it going to be at 0, 0?
No.
I was just kidding.
If you plug in, so y equals -1/2 times 0 squared plus 2. 0 times anything is
It's going to be
0, so y equals 2.
You're done.
So now we
But
can
the
just
y-intercept in the
Y-intercept and the vertex are the same. That's okay. We're just going to have to use our other steps. So go ahead and plot this stuff.
2.
So our axis of symmetry is right down the middle. And the vertex is at 0, 2. Now we do not have another point that we can reflect over, so we're going to have to create one. So step E here, plug in a value of x, like 1, 2, or 3, etc., and solve for the value of y. And then we'll plot its corresponding point. So what could we plug in for this x that would maybe get rid of our denominator?
2.
2. Okay, so for x, I'm going to plug in 2. So it'll be -1/2 times 2 squared plus 2. Well, what's 2 squared? -1/2 times 4 plus 2. What's -1/2 times 4?
2
plus 2 is
negative.
-2 plus 2 is
0.
0. So plot 2, 0. Then its corresponding point, that's step F. Over here. And now you can make your U. Does it make sense that that one is upside down?
Yes, because it's negative.
Because it had a negative at the very beginning.
It's a maximum.
It is a maximum. And what is the maximum point?
0,2.
0,2. So your homework has 9 problems like these. Any questions?
I just got.
Are we ahead of the